It's May 2nd, 2011. Night air hums over Abbottabad, Pakistan, as two helicopters skim low across the foothills of the Hindu Kush. On board, 24 Navy SEALs. Their target is the man behind the September 11th attacks, Osama Bin Laden. The mission is a tightly held secret, known only to the highest levels of the US government. After a decade of hunting, the world's most wanted man has finally been found. The plan is simple on paper and brutal in a practice. Land undetected, breach the compound, eliminate or capture the target. But the house they're heading for isn't ordinary. 12-foot concrete walls ring the property, topped with barbed wire. The main building rises 3 stories. Every window is blacked out. Balconies hide behind privacy walls and shades, defeating the gaze of high-flying drones. No one on the team knows what waits inside. They are going in blind. After 90 minutes in the air, the compound comes into view. Landing without detection will be the first test. 18 minutes to target. The White House chose not to inform Pakistan, fearing a leak could tip off the occupants. If local forces spot the SEALs, they'll be treated as hostiles. Complicating everything, a Pakistani military academy sits less than a mile away, armed, alert, and close. That's why the flight profile is razor thin. The helicopters race in low, skirting radar. On arrival, one bird will hover over the roof, letting SEALs fast rope straight onto the top floor. The second will insert another team at the main entrance, pinching the compound from multiple angles and sealing the exits. 3 additional helicopters wait on standby if anything goes wrong. In Washington, President Obama watches from the Situation Room. 8 months of planning has led to this moment, and then something no one anticipated. As the first helicopter eases down toward the roof, the pilot suddenly loses control. The aircraft yaws, drops, and pitches into the central courtyard. Its tail booms snap, rotor blades chew into masonry. The second helicopter reacts immediately, diverting and setting down safely in a nearby field. No one is hurt, but the crash could have blown the mission. The teams move fast and quiet, spreading to pre-assigned entry points. They have no idea whether everyone inside has been alerted. On the ground, the compound's self-sufficiency is obvious. A small greenhouse in the northeast corner grows vegetables. There are a few animals, enough to cut down trips for meat and milk. Trash is burned, rather than left out for collection. For years, the CIA never once observed the target coming or going. The family seemed to live sealed inside. That secrecy held for nearly a decade. Bin Laden vanished in 2001. It took 9 years to find the courier who unknowingly led the CIA here, and to this night. The team divides. One element moves to breach the gate to the Guesthouse. Others take up positions at ground floor entry points on the main building. A final element waits outside the compound to control the neighborhood if people wake to the noise. 3 SEALs push into the Guesthouse. A man with an AK-47 appears. He's dropped. Moments later, the team reports the structure clear and 3 dead. Among them, the trusted courier, whose movements helped reveal this location. Why Pakistan? With US forces entrenched in Afghanistan, staying there would have been too risky. Slipping across the border allowed proximity to allies and a dense urban cover that could mask unusual routines. Back at the main building, step 2 begins. Breaching the interior. The team at the southern entrance cracks the door and flows into the first floor, the family's living space. A low sitting room with floor-level couches, a worn kitchen, across from it, a makeshift classroom where children study Arabic at home. The place feels grungy and sparse, not what you'd expect for an affluent neighborhood. A figure darts across a corridor. He leans out, shots snap. The SEALs surge into the room. Another man lunges for a rifle. Both threats are neutralized. With potential gunmen still unaccounted for, the team fans through the remaining rooms. No more contacts on the first floor. A solid metal door blocks the stairway to the second floor. Standard charges won't cut it. High explosives would, but the blast would wake the district. They opt for precision breaching, small focused detonations to kill the lock without sounding like a car bomb. Meanwhile, the second assault element that landed outside reaches a different entrance with a staircase and a security gate. They plant a charge, blow it, and start climbing. 6 minutes to target. Footsteps above. A man peers down from the next landing, curious, unsure. A single shot, he falls. It's one of Bin Laden's sons, Khalid. For the first time, the team sees deep into the second floor. Without phones or internet, the residents still track the outside world from here. 3 rooms function like a command center. Multiple computers, hard drives, and storage devices. Quiet arteries of information. Bin Laden avoided electronic trails. Instead of calls or emails, he relied on couriers and pen and paper letters. For longer messages, he'd save a file to a USB flash drive, hand it to a trusted courier, and the message would be sent from far away. It kept him off the grid, but created a vulnerability. Data has to live somewhere, and this second floor stash could be a gold mine. They can't stop to sift. Each room is cleared quickly and marked. The way to the 3rd floor, final objective, opens ahead. 2 minutes to target. A decade earlier, in the mountains of Tora Bora, Bin Laden had seemed cornered. Airstrikes above, ground forces tightening the ring. He reportedly recorded a farewell message, convinced the end was near. But he slipped away, through a tunnel, a gap, the help of locals. No one knew for sure. The team tonight cannot let history repeat. They stack tightly on the staircase and move up. The 3rd floor is black. Even with night vision, visibility is poor. They listen, breath, a shuffle, then a glint of movement, a shot. The team floods forward. 5 seconds to target. 2 women freeze. Bin Laden's wives. Children huddle and cry in a corner. On the floor, a tall man with a grey-streaked beard lies motionless. In those first seconds, identification isn't ceremonial, it's procedural. They've reached the objective. The target is down. But the mission isn't over. Power in such networks doesn't vanish with one man. The trove on the 2nd floor could inflict a second strategic blow. Names, plans, methods. Then a new problem crackles over the radio. From the nearby base, Pakistani jets have been ordered into the air. The window is closing. The team moves on parallel tracks. One element bags the body for transport and DNA confirmation. Public photos of Bin Laden are old and few. Certainty will come from science. The other element sweeps the 2nd floor again, stripping it of intelligence, hard drives, laptops, notebooks, phones, anything that might map the organization's skeleton. Final checks. Rooms are re-cleared. They police up spent magazines and sensitive gear. There's one last task before they can leave. The crashed helicopter in the courtyard contains advanced technology the US does not want in anyone else's hands. Charges are set. The air erupts. Fire climbs the courtyard walls. A backup helicopter arcs in. The team lifts out, every operator accounted for. No SEALs wounded. The compound shrinks to a dark square in the night. In Washington, the president addresses the nation. The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama Bin Laden. Even as the words circle the globe, burial preparations are completed. To prevent a grave from becoming a shrine, the body is wrapped in a white shroud, placed in a weighted bag, and consigned to the sea. Back at the intelligence stations, the hall from the compound begins to speak. Among oddities, old video games and personal files, analysts catalog roughly 97,000 documents and digital materials. Years of work will follow. The cache reveals inner workings, communications habits, and pieces of future plans, threads that can be tugged to unravel networks. In Pakistan, it's around 3 a.m. when senior officials are briefed. Reports later suggest local forces arrive at the compound only after the SEALs have departed. In the days that follow, investigators, journalists, and curious locals descend on the site. 9 months later, local authorities bulldoze the structures to deter ghoulish tourism. Today, only a concrete outline remains. What lingers, though, is the anatomy of the raid itself. A mission designed for silence that began with a crash. A compound built to hide a man who never left it. A decade of pursuit resolved in minutes on a dark staircase. 3 steps, land undetected, breach the compound, eliminate or capture the target. The difference between success and failure balanced on dozens of tiny choices. Where to land, which door to blow, when to push. And when it mattered most, the team absorbed chaos, adapted, and finished the job. In the end, the operation dealt two blows: the removal of a figurehead and the seizure of information that would echo through counterterrorism efforts for years. A night of precision, risk, and irreversible consequences, carried out in the space of a few heartbeats on the third floor of a quiet house in Abbottabad.